Live from New Delhi, you're watching DD India Live, India's voice to the world. I am Anil Thomas. Coming up in the next 30 minutes. India's External Affairs Ministry reacts on Qatar court commuting death sentence of 8 Indians, says the interest of their family members is the country's foremost concern. India conveys request along with relevant supporting documents to Pakistan to extradite 2611 mastermind to New Delhi to face trial. Hafiz Saeed, also a UN proscribed terrorist. In a major move, a tripartite accord signed between Indian government of northeastern state of Assam and United Liberation Front of Assam to shun violence and join mainstream. And countries across the globe witness extreme weather conditions, record low temperatures, heat waves, floods, bushfires witnessed. India's Ministry of External Affairs spokesperson at a press conference spoke on the Qatar court commuting death sentence of 8 Indians. He stressed that the interest of their family members is the government's foremost concern.
We have issued a detailed press release yesterday on this. You would have seen this. For the moment, I don't have any additional information to share till we see the judgment, or the legal team gets to see the detailed judgment. Let me also emphasize, as I have been doing, and you've all been very patient on that, the confidential and the sensitive nature of the case. We will also, of course, be discussing the next possible steps with legal team and the family members.
Spokesman of the Ministry of External Affairs of India reiterated that mainstreaming of radical outfits in Pakistan is nothing new, and India will continue to monitor elements for national security.
Issue of radical elements being normalized and participate in elections is something perhaps I should comment on. We have seen some reports in this regard. It is an internal affair, so let me not comment on it. But the mainstreaming of radical terrorist outfits in Pakistan is nothing new. On our part, we will, of course, continue to monitor all developments that have an implication on our national security. He is also a UN proscribed terrorist. In this regard, we have conveyed a request, along with relevant supporting documents, to the government of India to extradite him, government of Pakistan, to extradite him to India to face trial in a particular case. I think that is what you were referring to. So yes, we have, of course, been flagging the issue of activities that he's been wanted for. In this case, you specifically mentioned whether we wanted to extradite him. Yes, there has been a request sent.
India's External Affairs Ministry spokesperson also spoke on the Red Sea. He reiterated that New Delhi backs freedom of movement of commercial vessels and the defense forces are taking all the measures.
We value the free movement of commercial shipping, which is one of the fundamental principles underpinning global commerce. We are carefully evaluating all aspects of the unfolding situation in that region. Our defense forces are taking necessary measures in this regard, and in that context, I would also like to say I'm not in agreement whether we are in a position to defend or not. But I'm not aware that India is part of any multilateral initiative or operation presently in or around the Red Sea.
Well, DD India's correspondent Meghna Dev joining us live to talk on these 3 issues there that were discussed today. Let me first begin with Qatar. Meghna, good evening. Meghna, how does we see this particular story now develop? There is also India has also moved the court of appeal in Qatar. Is there any development on that one? And secondly, when do we see this legal team meeting? And with regards to more, broad daylight on this particular development that's taken place in Qatar?
So yes, definitely that's a very important question. Since the verdict came out, the Ministry of External Affairs put out a release saying that the death sentence has been commuted. Now, definitely it is important that once the details come in, that's what the ministry says, that once the details of the judgment are out, the legal team in talks is already in touch with the families, and they will be able to decide how to proceed further with the case, because now there are a few things that have to be kept in mind. So in October, from the court of first instance, the verdict had come that that sentence had been given to these 8 Indians who were in prison in Qatar. Now, after that, the legal team moved to the court of appeal, where they filed an appeal, and the appeal was accepted. It was earlier speculated that this, on 18th of December, which is the National Day, the Emir might give pardon to these people. But then the Ministry of External Affairs said that while there are some Indians on the list of pardon, but they do not have an idea if these people are there. But after yesterday, when the verdict has come out, it is very clear that the death sentence has been commuted. Now, it is for the legal team to decide to explore more options, whether they want to go ahead with further appeals and how the law functions there, so that even the sentence can be reduced even further. Besides that, another thing, when we are talking about the treaty that is there, where prisoners can serve their sentence, Indian prisoners in Qatar can serve their sentence in India. Now, when we talk about that, the Ministry of External Affairs has said that this treaty was there. It has been ratified by India, but they will have to check if this treaty was ratified by Qatar as well, because when there is a treaty between two countries, the ratification process takes place, where the country which ratifies it second will give a timeline of since when the treaty will come into effect. So, the Ministry of External Affairs has said that they will have to check whether Qatar has ratified this treaty or not, so that steps can be taken further on this as well.
Okay, coming to the Hafiz Saeed story, big revelation there with confirmation about his extradition being done by the Indian External Affairs Ministry. But having said that, the US has a bounty of $10 million on him. More than that, he's in jail since 2019. And Pakistan is in the dock for all the wrong reasons. Do you see, Pakistan extending an olive branch by handing over Hafiz Saeed to India for, the next logical step to be taken?
So this was a request made recently, Anil. Okay. So we definitely see that MEA has given out some documents on the developments and has asked for his extradition to the Pakistan government. Now, we have to keep that in mind, that India and Pakistan do not have an extradition treaty. But without a treaty, India can definitely, ask Pakistan, giving them the relevant documents and the details, so that they can extradite Hafiz Saeed to India. Now, obviously, we know that he is a UN proscribed terrorist. He has bounties on him. That's exactly what you said, that the US has a bounty on him as well. He's a UN proscribed terrorist. Having said all of that, while India has been time and again trying to get Hafiz Saeed to India so that he can face trial here in the Indian court, it is definitely very unlikely for Pakistan to cooperate in in a situation like this, where today also, when a question was asked in the MEA to the MEA spokesperson, that Hafiz Saeed's son is contesting elections in Pakistan, where the Ministry of External Affairs spokesperson did respond, saying that the radical elements coming to mainstream is nothing very new for Pakistan. So definitely, taking a look at the track record, definitely seems less likely. But definitely, India has put out strong documents in support of the extradition call that India has given for Hafiz Saeed, and it has put out that for Pakistan to extradite Hafiz Saeed back to India.
Well, surely putting Pakistan there once again on the back foot. We'll leave it there. Thank you. Appreciate you joining us. Meghna Dev live from the newsroom here in New Delhi. Moving forward, aiming to bring a lasting peace in India's northeastern state of Assam, the central and the state government of Assam have finally signed the long elusive tripartite peace accord with a major faction of one of the biggest separatist groups of the region, the United Liberation Front of Assam. The signing of the tripartite agreement with the pro-talks faction was held in the presence of Home Minister Amit Shah and Assam Chief Minister Hemanta Biswa Sarma. The move is going to bring down curtains on the saga of militancy in Assam.
आज मेरे लिए बहुत हर्ष का विषय है कि आज आसाम के भविष्य के लिए एक सुनहरा दिन है। लंबे समय से आसाम ने हिंसा को झेला है, पूरे नॉर्थ ईस्ट ने हिंसा को झेला है। जब से मोदी जी प्रधानमंत्री बने तब से 2014 से दिल्ली और नॉर्थ ईस्ट की दूरी कम करने के प्रयास हुए।
Well, Lead India correspondent Shubina Roy joining us from Dibrugarh in Assam for more on this. Shubina, good evening. Would it be right to term this as a historic day or a big day for Assam, considering that the state has suffered long with the ULFA there in action, and close to over 10,000 people who've lost their lives since way back, almost, if I remember rightly, almost 5 decades?
Surely, Anil, this is a huge, this is a milestone day, I would say, for the Assam and the entire Northeast. As you know, that Assam is the gateway to the Northeast. So certainly, if Assam has peace, it will deliberate. The peace will, of course, go to the entire Northeast. And when there is peace, there will be economic development. As you know, that the Northeast and Assam is a biodiversity hotspot with lots of mineral resources. So when there is peace, there will be economic development. And also, the government has ensured that the indigenous rights, the land rights, the cultural heritage of the people would be ensured after the peace agreement.
Subina, also now with regards to what was discussed on the table, purely in terms of for this particular peace accord or this tripartite accord to come into place, how much of a role will now, especially these particular liberation people, how much of a role will they have to play in seeing that development reaches every nook and corner of the northeastern state of Assam?
The people who have the militancy group, they have actually raised the demands of the indigenous people. As Assam is the land of many minority groups, indigenous people, their rights need to be preserved. And when this agreement is signed, the government has assured that their requirements, the cultural, the land rights of the indigenous people would be protected. And also an amount of package has been ensured by the government. And these people they will surely integrate in the democratic process of establishing more peace and development in the region.
Okay, we'll leave it there. Thank you. Appreciate you joining us this evening, getting us the latest on that tripartite peace accord that's come into play between the state and the centre and the ULFA there. Moving on, India's Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman attended an interactive session with students discussing transforming India into the new decade. The session was held at the A.M. Jain College in the southern state of Chennai. Nirmala Sitharaman addressed questions from the students, emphasizing the pivotal role of the youth in realizing Prime Minister's vision of a developed India by the year 2047. Drawing lessons from the riots and attacks on emergency services that occurred on New Year's Eve last year, German police forces are preparing to be present in large numbers during the year-end festivities across the country, appealing to the public to be peaceful. Japanese share notched their biggest annual gain in a decade as Tokyo Stock Exchange held a ceremony to mark the end of the trading year. Hideki Kuriyama, the manager of Japan's 2023 championship-winning World Baseball Classic team, rang a ceremonial bell to mark the end of trading for the year. Sudan's Rapid Support Forces, that's RSF, leader Mohamed Hamdan Dagalo arrived in Addis Ababa to discuss the situation in Sudan with Ethiopian Prime Minister Abiy Ahmed, seeking a remedy for armed conflict in his country. The two sides discussed the latest developments in the armed conflict in Sudan and along with that, ceasefire negotiations. Shanghai residents woke up on Friday to a thick blanket of fog covering China's financial hub, so thick that the city's major landmarks were almost invisible. Authorities issued a yellow alert for the fog in Shanghai and suspended some ferry routes temporarily. Still to come on this edition of DD India Live. India will overtake Japan and Germany as the world's third largest economy by 2032. Dubai transforms into a winter wonderland ahead of New Year celebrations.
From the much-anticipated Chandrayaan-3 mission to the transformative impact of AI. India's radiant venture into solar exploration by ISRO. Prepare for an out-of-this-world experience with its seamless transactions. It has transformed the way Indians transact.
Watch Echo's 2023 rocketing ahead at this time on DD India.
You're watching DD India Live. I'm Anil Thomas. Moving on, India's External Affairs Minister Dr. S. Jaishankar interacted with the Governor of St. Petersburg, Alexander Beglov, in Moscow on Thursday. During his meeting, Jaishankar extended support to promote economic cooperation and people-to-people exchanges between India and Russia. Earlier on Thursday, External Affairs Minister interacted with prominent Indologists in St. Petersburg State University, appreciated the initiatives and ideas proposed by the Indologists to deepen cooperation between the two countries. During the roundtable discussions with the Indologists, the External Affairs Minister talked about the time-tested India-Russian ties.
This interest today is particularly pertinent, it's particularly important because in today's world, a country like India and one like Russia, we are constantly trying to refresh our relationship, to deepen it, to find new linkages and common points.
Taking to social media, India's External Affairs Minister shared a video on his visit to a school named after Rabindranath Tagore in St. Petersburg. Expressing happiness, the minister noted that Rabindranath's passion for India was really touching.
Namaste, aapka swagatam. Please, Khaliji,
Well, as many people around the world ring in the festive season, several places have been faced with extreme weather. With record low temperatures in some areas, heat waves, floods and bushfires in others, countries from north to south are witnessing extreme conditions. Let's take a look at this report.
The United Kingdom saw heavy damage as Storm Gerrit brought strong winds on Thursday. The storm also caused travel disruption. The UK's Meteorological Office is forecasting more heavy rain to come this weekend, followed by snow. In the United States, California is hit by storms, triggering massive waves of 28 to 33 feet on its coast on Friday. Flooding has led to evacuation orders in several areas of Northern California. Meteorologists have warned that worse is yet to come. South America's Peru is also ravaged by floods following heavy rains in the northeastern region of Loreto. Australia is battling twin troubles. The country's north and west is bracing for intense heatwave, prompting authorities to raise bushfire risks, with several regions under total fire bans. Severe storms in the east has already left 10 people dead, and thunderstorms are expected to redevelop. In the Democratic Republic of Congo, floods and landslides caused by torrential rain has killed at least 40 people. According to UN climate experts, extreme rainfall is becoming more intense and frequent in Africa due to warming temperatures. Following weeks of record low sub-freezing temperatures, heavy fog and haze shrouded areas in China's Shanghai on Friday. The Central Meteorological Observatory issued its first red alert for fog since 2017.
India's Prime Minister will inaugurate the airport as well as a renovated railway station. The railway station has a new building, host of amenities and a new name. DD India's Ravi Dhiman has the latest developments.
Ayodhya is eagerly awaiting 30th December, for it is a day when Prime Minister Narendra Modi will come here and give a big boost to the connectivity of the city. Not only he will inaugurate the international airport, but also inaugurate the renovated railway station. The structure that you see right behind me resembles a temple, but in fact, it is the renovated railway station of Ayodhya, which has now been renamed as Ayodhya Dham Railway Station or Ayodhya Dham Junction. It has been built at the cost of 430 crore rupees and is ready to handle more than 100,000 passengers. When all the three phases of renovation are complete, this railway station will hold India's largest concourse. The main road leading to the entrance of the railway station and to the main lobby rivals that of any international airport. The outside architecture is based on the Nagara temple style, and it is fully complemented by modern facilities and amenities that will be available to the passengers once they arrive in this railway station. So come 2024, all the pilgrims and visitors coming to Ayodhya are set for a pleasant surprise. With camera person SP Dubey, Ravi Dhiman, DD India, Ayodhya.
Well, Indian government's nationwide outreach initiative Viksit Bharat Sankalp Yatra aims to attain saturation of flagship schemes of the government by ensuring that the benefits of these schemes reach the targeted beneficiaries. Under this series, India's Member of Parliament from Mathura constituency in the Indian state of Uttar Pradesh, Hema Malini, held a public meeting under Viksit Bharat Sankalp Yatra in Gokul. The public meeting helped to raise awareness about various government schemes, including Pradhan Mantri Awas Yojana, Ujjwala Yojana for LPG cylinders, Ayushman Card scheme for farmers, among others. The Indian MP Hema Malini also said that a lot of development work is being done by Prime Minister. Houses have been built for approximately 600 people in Gokul under the Pradhan Mantri Awas Yojana. Besides, work is also on in full swing for the improvement of education in government schools in Fatiha village under the motto of Sabka Saath, Sabka Vikas. Some of the facilities for children at the school include table chair, RO drinking water, furniture, along with others. According to the latest World Economic League table report by the Center for Economics and Business Research, India is on track to becoming the world's largest economic superpower by 2080, surpassing both China and the US. By 2032, India will overtake Japan and Germany as the world's third largest economy. By 2030, its GDP is projected to exceed China's by 90% and US by about 30%. India's growth is fueled by key factors like political stability, large and youthful population, dynamic entrepreneurial sector, and increasing global economic integration. Well, it was a year where Australia called the shots in cricket, winning the World Test Championship, winning the World Cup, but there were other teams like Netherlands, Afghanistan and Nepal that stole some headlines. Women's cricket has been the story of 2023. Let's take a look at all the events that unfolded in the gentlemen's game in 2023. Year 2023 can best be described as a tectonic year with radical changes for women's cricket in India. The year that started with the inaugural T20 World Cup in South Africa ended with 2 back-to-back tests, and the inaugural edition of Women's Premier League in India put women on the centre stage in world cricket. More audience per match, more eyeballs on the women's game and more new faces followed. After that watershed moment, the bilateral series took over. In the Women's Ashes series, the one-off test saw the result after 8 years when Australia defeated England. The boards and other stakeholders are now understanding the value of standing behind the women's game. Moving to the men's world of cricket, India high on that big win in the Asia Cup, won 10 matches on the trot in the World Cup they hosted, but were unable to make it count in the final that mattered most in the Narendra Modi Cricket Stadium. It started with the World Test Championship and World Cup final, Australia on both occasions getting the better of India in white and colour clothing. Pat Cummins leading the Aussies to victory from the brink of exit is the standout performance of the year. England failed to defend the World Cup but managed to salvage pride, bouncing back from 0-2 to 2-2 in the Ashes series. Asian neighbours Pakistan, Sri Lanka, Bangladesh and Afghanistan played well in patches but were not consistent in the year. West Indies caused the biggest surprise by failing to qualify for the World Cup for the first time. New Zealand once again continued to shine, and though they failed to reach the final in the World Cup, the Kane Williamson-led team walk into 2024 with hope and faith to bounce back stronger. Cricketainment or IPL in India saw Chennai get the better of Gujarat in the final. MS Dhoni-led team got the better of Hardik Pandya-led team in the final for their 5th crown. The year 2024 has the T20 World Cup being played in the US and West Indies island. Cricket getting an Olympic debut has pushed uncharted territories open for the sport, and expanding horizons is just the right beginning for the gentleman's game. Well, that's all in this edition of DD India Live, but let us know your thoughts on the news of the day. You can connect with us on Facebook, X and also Instagram. You can visit our website ddindia.co.in. We're going to be back with more news as it breaks here on DD India. I'm Anil Thomas from all of us here in Delhi. Thanks for watching DD India Live.